Back at the Naturopath from New Zealand. Thank you for coming back. It's winter time here. My room's nice and warm. I hope everyone in the Northern Hemisphere is enjoying a nice hot summer. I heard it's going to be like 100 plus, like 105 in the shade. So make sure you drink enough water, you guys out there, okay? Especially all my friends in California. Okay, now we're going to talk about vegan diets. And I read an interesting article online recently about a lady's blog who wrote about a vegan journey, and she said how my vegan diet almost ruins my gut health entirely. So I thought it'd be good to do a video on how not to ruin your gut health when you're on a vegan diet. The big thing with veganism now, it's just such a trendy topic at the moment, okay? They reckon now nearly half, I think it's like 45% of vegans in the US are aged between 15 and 34. It's becoming a very powerful movement. As you know, I've been a naturopath now for a long time, and in those 30 plus years, I've seen hundreds and hundreds of vegan and vegetarian patients. Many of them in great shape, many of them in poor shape, and a lot of them in a lousy shape, okay? So what starts off often when, a guy or a girl is quite young and they get into vegetarianism, for ethical and moral reasons, for many other health reasons, for many other reasons, they're going to start to cut out a lot of animal products, and they're going to rely a lot more heavily on starches, on carbs, on beans, on grains, on legumes, on dried fruits, for example. Lots of these foods, because they're looking for energy, they're looking for protein, they're looking for power from their diet. Now, for the first several years, things seem to tick over okay for vegans. But then once they start hitting that, 5, 7, 10-year mark, the wheels start getting a little bit wonky. And when they hit the 10, 12, 15-year mark, the wheels actually start falling off. I can't tell you how many vegan ladies I've seen, for example, more so than guys, I suppose, but guys as well, that have complained to me about excessive bloating, excessive gas, feeling tired, feeling depressed, feeling anxious. So the very first thing we do is we tell that person to straight away get bloods done, blood testing done. We want to check vitamin D, we want to check vitamin B12, we want to check the fat-soluble vitamins, we want to check for omega-3 fatty acids. Okay, these things are typically deficient. Iron is another typically deficient mineral you find in vegans. So the question I have for you out there, if you're watching this video and you haven't clicked it off yet, is, are you deficient? Do you have a deficiency? Get that checked by your doctor. Make sure you get good testing done. The second test I would highly, highly recommend a vegan get done is a hair analysis. So a test of your hair. Get some samples from the nape of the neck, get it sent away to a reputable lab. Doctor's Data, for example, in Chicago is quite a good lab. The test is about $120. It's not that expensive. Now that will give you a pretty good analysis of the mineral content of your hair, which will give you a good idea on what's going on inside your gut. Are you absorbing the minerals? Have you got enough digestive power to be able to take those minerals up and express those out through the hair? So let's just scope that out. So we talked about blood testing, hair testing. The third thing you need to probably do is have a good, frank, hard, long look at your diet to see what you're eating. When are you getting the bloating? When are you getting the gas? When are you getting the fatigue? How long did it take for you to slide into that shape? You'll need to make some changes. With vegan patients, I totally respect the fact that they want to eat no animal food at all, because I'm quite keen on vegan diet myself, but the healthy vegan diet. So you need to be very careful, particularly of grains when you've got the bloating. You may need to cut those out. And dried fruits, I've seen far too much consumed by many vegan people, which of course is going to push ladies into yeast infections and guys into jockage, because it's just sugar overload. So many vegans end up fatigued and tired, so they're going to look for things that give them a bit of a boost, okay? And often those things will contain sugar. So usually fats, okay? Fats are what the person really needs, and proteins. So you need to look at those two things in particular and work out the best proteins for you and the best fats. So there are a whole wide range of different, of course, protein, sources that you could put into your diet. But if you're really sick and tired of having problems and you're a vegan, the two key things I'd recommend you do initially would be the blood test, the hair analysis, and then the last one would be the comprehensive stool test, because you really want to know what's going on in there, okay, in your gut. Do you have high levels of lactobacillus? There's a big chance that you've depleted all of those guys, okay? Lactobacillus thrive in a very healthy gut with a diverse diet coming in. But you can handicap the lactobacillus again by only eating specific types of foods. They can drop off, leading to more bloating, more gas, more appetite problems. So a stool test to define what your microbiome is a very smart starting point for you to get your gut into a high spec again. And you can. Just because you're vegan doesn't mean to say that you have to suffer from pale skin and looking washed out and being tired. Vegans can be very strong, powerful, healthy people, but they need to be more educated than non-vegans in terms of what are the best foods to eat, and because you already know what to avoid. So needless to say, testing's clever because it'll give you a baseline to get back on track. So enzymes, and you can get natural enzymes, probiotics, often make a very powerful, long-term product for a vegan to use. So I highly recommend you look at those kind of tips, so you don't slide into a ruined gut phase and then, a ruined life because the veganism went off the rails. You need to be educated and make sure that you get the right kind of information, the right testing, and then put a good plan together for yourself so you don't have to suffer. The wheels don't have to fall off like they do with many vegans who are just not really that interested in studying and understanding their dietary requirements. Click on the link below for my free PDF. Thanks for tuning in.